And unless the 8 candidates on that stage show a little of Trump's devil-may-care moxie, they're all really just running for cabinet positions. Joining us now, Sean Spicer, former White House press secretary under President Trump, former chief strategist at the RNC, is also the host of the Sean Spicer podcast and a NewsNation political contributor. Also with us is John Ziegler, conservative commentator and host of the Death of Journalism podcast. Thank you both for coming on. Appreciate it. All right, so Sean, apart from Chris Christie, are we going to see all the candidates soft pedaling around Donald Trump?
Well, first, I'd say there's two avenues. There's one, which is the Christie mentality, go kamikaze straight at Trump. And second, you're going to see a lot of these folks take the opportunity to promote themselves. I would argue two things, Dan, to explain to you why I think they're going to do what they do. Number one, the problem with going straight at Trump is the following, the Chris Christie model, if you will. When you take on Trump, even if you were 100% correct and the viewers agreed with you, there's no guarantee that you're going to be the recipient or the beneficiary of that support. So in other words, Christie comes at Trump or makes some argument on stage tomorrow night, even if everyone in the viewing audience agreed with him. There's no guarantee that Christie becomes the recipient of that support. It could go to Nikki Haley or Tim Scott or Vivek Ramaswamy. So I would argue that's a stupid strategy. Number two, anyone who's at 1, 2, 3, 4%, until you get well enough known and people believe that you actually can carry the mantle of a positive agenda moving forward, they're not going to be with you just because you're against Donald Trump. So I actually think it's a bad idea to go out tomorrow night and to spend your time being the anti-Trump candidate. You need to build support. This is the campaign advice I would give any candidate over the last 30 years. You need to become known. You need to be someone that they can support. And you don't become someone they can support because of what you're against. It becomes what you're for, which is, frankly, the Vivek Ramaswamy approach right now that I think is working.
But how do you have a moment in a debate if it's only what you're for, right? I mean, I think that everything you're saying makes sense. It sounds great, right? But as you know, that in reality, you need that moment, right? You need that moment in the debate where people say, aha, look at the way, you know, and by the way, it could be Vivek Ramaswamy sticking it to Chris Christie. But you have to have that moment,
Dan,
right?
But here's where, with all due respect, that moment comes where, as a conservative voter, as a lifelong Republican, I want to hear how you're going to take on Joe Biden. I want to hear how you're going to restore order at our border, build our military, take on China. I don't want to hear somebody who they're going to take down somebody else. I think that's what you're missing here. Is that voters, and I've been here in Wisconsin. I was in Iowa last week. What voters want who aren't with Trump is somebody to articulate a vision and policies about how we're going to get this country back under control. So with all due respect, I think the media wants to fight. A lot of these agencies want ratings, but that's not what conservatives want.
Now, I know that's what voters say that they want, right? I know that. But the reality is, when it comes to distinguishing yourself in a field where Donald Trump is so dominant, they are going to have to do something other than simply tell you what they're for. Look, it would be great in a perfect world if that were the case. It's just a fantasy world.
But this is not a one-night event. Right now, listen, if you think about all these candidates that made a 1%, they need to wear name tags tomorrow night for people to know who they are. They're not going to get their viral moment by going after Trump. Right now, people want to know what Doug Burgum did in North Carolina. They want to hear Asa Hutchinson discuss what he did in Arkansas, or Vivek Ramaswamy talk about woke culture. But there's another debate on September 27th. If I were advising a candidate, I would say it's a fool's errand to waste the precious 96 seconds that you're going to get tomorrow night being the person that's going after Donald Trump. Let Chris Christie play that role.
All right. That's I think Burgum's from North Dakota, too.
Apologize. Christie, no. My apologies.
Right? It just shows you, like, your point about him needing name tags. All right. Let me let John Ziegler, and John, let me just let you sort of weigh in here.
I think you guys are looking at this through a lens of 2015. It feels a little antiquated here because Chris Christie's not running for president. Chris Christie isn't doing what he claims, which is to try to knock out Donald Trump. Chris Christie is running for a contract extension at ABC News. Vivek Ramaswamy is running as a Trump surrogate. The only person that is even theoretically running for president against Donald Trump is Ron DeSantis, which is why he's the only person Donald Trump criticizes. Donald Trump owns the Republican Party apparatus. If the Republican Party was a publicly held company, he would own at least 40% of the stock and 80 to 90% of the board of directors. As long as there's 4 or 5 candidates in this race, no one can get more than 40% of the stock. It's impossible to beat him.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.